Students of plus one, we will study very interesting topics today. First topic is herbarium. Herbarium is a very simple thing. As in previous classes, sometimes you take the leaves of different plants, make it dry, press it, and attach it on the paper as album of the leaves. That is called herbarium. Very simple. Herbarium is a collection of dried leaves or plants. They are dried and pressed and attached on a paper for study of classification. Suppose we take the leaf of the mango, we dry it, press it, attach it on an album, and we write classification for study. That is called herbarium. The purpose of herbarium is study for the classes, study for the characters, study for the its relative plants and animals, and it is done by pressing and drying. The pressing and drying is pressed within the papers, newspapers, and dried in sun, and when it is dry it is kept in album and herbarium sheets. Herbarium sheets are like the big album herbarium sheets, that is called mounting and labeling in sheets with pins, with paste, with the sellotape, and different page we write the classification of the particular plant, that is called herbarium. The sorting of herbarium sheets we can study anytime for classification, that is called herbarium. Herbarium is nothing, that is the album of leaves with classification. Next, botanical gardens. The rare plants are grown in a particular area, in the city, in the college, in the school, in the state, that is botanical garden. There are many botanical gardens for rare plants to study their characters, to propagate so that their species may not be ending their botanical garden. As in zoo or zoological parks, we preserve the animals. In botanical gardens, we grow and propagate and multiply the rare plants, that is called botanical garden. And in Indian Botanical Garden in Howrah, there are many big gardens. There is great banyan tree, Ficus bengalensis. Banyan tree name is Ficus bengalensis. It is spread over 4 acres of the area, and there are 1,000 pillars. Original pillar is absent. Every root, which hanging root of the banyan which touch the ground, it makes the connection of the ground, it make a pillar. And as you must have seen in movies, the great banyan park, full 4 acre of the place is covered by banyan, different roots, different pillars attaching the ground. There are palm houses, nurseries of the rare plants. That is all in botanical gardens. Next topic is zoological parks. As in botanical garden there are plants, in zoological parks is zoo where the rare animals are cared and breeded for the future generation, so that their species may not be finished. They are called zoological parks. As vulnerable species, rare species, ending species, white elephant, white lion, and peacocks, which are ending, they are preserved. They are material to entertainment, to see the children see the zoological parks. There many animals are collected, preserved, and looked after, and breeding is there. Next, museum. Museum is a place where the things to study are placed, arranged, so that we can study our history. There are many types of museum: historical museum, musical museum, botanical museum, zoological museum. Anything which is placed, historical museum you must seen. Museum are those institutions which have collection of preserved plants, animals for study, for reference. For reference, we study them. They can be preserved for longer time, they can study for longer time, we can study their habitat, habit, nature and flora. And botanical gardens are also used for horticulture, pharmaceutical and educational purpose. So but then I told you about key. Key means characters to identify the plant or animal. So today I tell you about the keys. Keys means hint to study the organism, plant or animal to give classification. Then museum, and types of museum, zoological parks, botanical gardens, and herbarium. These are very simple, very easy to study. God bless. Thank you.